You're listening to episode number 50 of the Uprev Ninja Podcast, and I'm your host, Tom Hudson.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Uprev Ninja Podcast. If this is your first time listening, thanks for joining us. This show is produced each week with the single intent of discovering the tips, tricks, hacks, and lessons learned from our guests that has catapulted them into living the best version of themselves. Join your host, Tom Hudson, as he continues his search for the best methods to uprev his life. Now, let's dive into the show.
Today's guest is Ellie Hirsch. She formed Mommy Masters in 2010 to help parents create flourishing family environments. She continues to provide unique parenting tips, tricks, and tools, including her educational children's music, a Parent's Choice Award winner, along with emotional support, reassurance, and confidence in overall parental decision-making. Whether it is television, radio, online, or print, Ellie creatively reaches and inspires individuals on a global level. Her brand and recently formed Parent You Up, Pet You Up, Biz You Up, and The Persuasive Lion, offering a complete village, including parenting, pet, motivation, and business solutions to gaining life success. She is helping human and pet moms eliminate the frustrations of parenting, focusing on work-life integration, and taking small business owners, including mom and dadpreneurs, to the next level, providing web development, coaching, and social media and marketing services. Ellie always preaches the power of humor and philanthropy as an essential ingredient for any of life's many recipes. Hey, welcome to the Uprev Ninja Podcast. Today I've got Ellie Hirsch with us. How are you doing today?
I'm great. How are you?
I'm doing great. I'm really excited to talk to you. It's, I don't know. I don't want to get into everything that you do or even assume I know what you're doing, but, I think it's great. My wife's a teacher. I have just a significant amount of passion for people that, take parenting seriously. And, cause it's a big chore. My son turns 18 here in 6 days from the recording of this. And, my, daughter turns 14 next month. So, yeah, that's what I say. Wow. How do I look this good and have kids?
I was going to say, you look a little young to have kids that age.
Yeah, I started young. So anyway, that all said, why don't you tell us who you are and what you're all about?
Sure. Well, I am Ellie Hirsch, known as Ellie the Mommy Master, and I am the mom of 3 boys, ages 6, 9, and 11. And I am born and bred in New York, but now I live in Tampa. I still have my New York work ethic and attitude, which has gotten me where I am today. Mommy Masters was formed back in 2010, and it was really a way for me to share my journey of parenting and the secrets to mastering motherhood, which is not what you think. So I started out with a blog. I literally Googled how to write a blog and just started writing down my thoughts, and that turned into children's music. I always loved to rhyme and sing, and I used to sell poetry on the playground for 10 cents when I was in first grade.
Wow.
And I so wish I still had that, but I don't. But I made $1, and I felt very, great about myself, and I decided then I wanted to write. So I started creating little rhymes for my kids, if you will, as to how to grab their attention, how to teach and reach them through music, I guess you could say. So manners, cleaning up, the first day of school, behavior and consequences, pretty lullabies. So 4 years later, after these thoughts, I created a children's CD, Music is Magical, Children's Songs with Ellie, and it won a Parent's Choice Award a year later. And I will never forget that feeling of darn, I meant to grab the CD, of holding up my CD and screaming in the car. I made the top of my lungs of this, wow, that was a dream of mine, and I did it. So that feeling I wish upon everybody, that even if it's the smallest accomplishment or whatever. So after that, I continued with my blog, and then I started doing television, which I also always wanted to do. I pretended I was Jane Pauley, put on my mom's suits, wrote fake news reports, and, I did the news, so I knew I wanted to be on television, and I started helping local news stations here in Tampa develop their parenting segments, which is awesome. I love doing that. I love being on TV. I think it's a great experience, whether it's live or not, and I just love connecting with parents locally or nationally. And then after that, I started working with clients, which I never thought I would do. People started to ask me, well, I would like your platform of parents. I want you to help promote my product or my business or my blog. And I was like, okay, I got this. So now I work with tons of different clients that really run the gamut. It's all about parenting, women, dads, products that make you feel good. And everything I do has to be organic. If I wouldn't use it or it doesn't make my life easier, no, thank you. I don't need the $200 that, I've charged or whatever. I really don't. So it's all about making parents' lives easier. And then most recently, I've been a busy gal. Most recently, I partnered with a college friend of mine, and we've always just had this really great synergy. And with my creativity and my media experience and everything that I've been doing, sort of married with his business development and web development, we created still the Mommy Masters umbrella, but now we offer Parent You Up, Pet You Up, Biz You Up, and a Persuasive Lion, which is really motivational speaker and things like that. And now whether you have a kid, a furry pet, which you might hear mine barking downstairs, or, you're just looking to get more confidence, or, you're a mompreneur, dadpreneur, and you need help with your website and logo and really need help figuring out the journey. I get so many moms calling me, hey, I'm afraid, but I have this really great idea. How do I do what you're doing? And so it's really nice to be able to share that journey and what I learned. I wish I had someone like myself now to help me through it, but in a way you really learn everything, and it's a lot of work. So now I have 8 other experts besides myself in this great new brand that we're building. It's launching in a few weeks. I'm super excited, and I'm doing radio shows now. I developed a show called Just a Minute, which is literally 1 minute of myself and a radio DJ doing really dumb things. The idea is to make parents laugh and take a minute out of your day, whether it's stressful at work or at home with the kids, and just laugh your blank off. And it's really fun. So that's the 20-minute elevator pitch of what I do.
I love it. No, I think that's...
And yeah, it's a lot. But at the end of the day, it's all philanthropy-based and also humor. If you cannot laugh at yourself or you can't make me laugh, I can't even talk to you. Life is so busy and crazy and goes by so quickly. I just really try to laugh because otherwise I'll cry. So, ta-da, here I am. That's me. So
we'll make you laugh during this show. But
thank you.
There might be some tears along the way to get there. But
that's okay. That's okay.
So
no problem.
Let's go back to 2010. So,
yeah.
I know you said, you've got 3 boys, 6, 9, and 11. 2010 when you started out on this adventure. I'm doing the math in my head here. So, 3 years old or so. What was the light switch? What made you want to go on this path?
This is actually kind of a cool story, at least I think so.
Yeah, totally.
So when I had my first child, I had a full-time job, although I worked from home, and I was on maternity leave. And I noticed in my neighborhood there were so many women that had kids, and they were also on maternity leave. And as we all know, when you have kids, that first 3 months, you're in this cloud. You don't leave your house. You're in your pajamas. You're breastfeeding. You're just like a nightmare. You're not even part of this earth. It's just a weird sort of. So we all started talking about oh my God, my boobs are killing me and I'm not getting any sleep. And I thought, what, how nice would it be to actually have once a week or once every week, all these women at each of our houses, let's get some pizza and just whine about it, And we started to do that, and it gained a lot of attention, and soon strangers would come. And so the name of it was Mommy Masters. And I created these flyers and I put them around town. And because I had an advertising and branding background, I called up a couple companies and told them what we were doing, and I got each meeting sponsored. So we'd get free product and free coupons, and it was just really, really cool. And so everybody eventually went back to work, and I went back to work, and then about 2 years later, I had my second child, and it was just really difficult. I was doing some production work, and I was on call, and my husband travels for work. I call myself a single married mother, and it was just, it became this, why am I trying to balance? It was just too much. So I actually quit my job, become a stay-at-home mom, which didn't last that long because a few months later I was I'm itching to write and all this stuff. And again, I told you, I started a blog. And when I said, what should I name it? I looked up in my office at the corkboard that was there. And lo and behold was that flyer from years before that said Mommy Masters. And I said, there it is. It's got to be Mommy Masters. So that's how it started.
That is awesome. Yeah. It's
kind of cool.
You had a vision board and you totally forgot about it, right?
It just made sense, and it just caught on. And again, it's all about being organic. And people started saying, you seem happy all the time. Your husband travels. You have little kids. What are you doing right? And I don't want to confuse people because I'm not happy all the time. And we'll get into this. Part of being a successful mom is failing. Right. I have to tell you. But again, if you can use laughter, and people are like, well, how do I do this? Or my kid's not doing that. So the advice started. And that's when I was like, I'm just going to write about this and hopefully within my journey help other people and give them tips and tricks and tools. And that's how it kind of started, and the rest is history.
So it sounds like you just, you dove in and you went gangbusters on this.
Yeah.
What was there anything that kind of held you back? I mean, it doesn't sound like you had doesn't sound like you're a procrastinator.
No, I'm very motivated. And, in the past, things have held me back. Yeah. Maybe confidence or, anxiety of speaking in front of people. But I discovered when I started Mommy Masters that the reason I didn't feel confident is because I didn't really love what I was doing.
Yeah.
All the jobs that I've had, like, we talked about the advertising, the production. I worked at talent agencies. I actually worked with abused children. All these jobs actually combined is what I do. And so now that I love what I do and I really feel confident, that's what, I could never have imagined speaking, let's say, in front of 10 people, 100 people. It was part of my job at one point. And it was really scary. I dealt with a lot of anxiety, but I got through it. And now, you can put me in a room of 10,000 people and I will talk about Mommy Masters and moms because I feel confident. And I think when we feel that, and I think that comes with maturity as well, I feel like I can do anything. And when I moved to Tampa, when you move somewhere and nobody and your husband travels and you don't have kids at the time, and so you're forced to kind of get out there, I would go to meetings of, advertising meetings and this and that at the job I was doing. And I just didn't care what people thought. I'm like, I'm going to put myself out there. What's the worst that can happen? And so with that attitude, that courage, it really helped me. People would not guess that in my 20s, I had like a social anxiety. And I have to be honest with you, I really haven't talked about this a lot, like barely at all. Many people would be like, what? No way, you? Because I'm very outgoing. But if I don't feel confident in a situation, I get like nervous. But I have really learned the tools to utilize that anxiety. And I will never, ever let it again stop me from doing what I love. And if I can inspire one person, whether it's with anxiety or parenting or business, then I've reached my goal. And so that's how it started. And I really am very happy, knock on wood. And I'll be 42 in May, where I am in my life. And I want to give that to other women and men and people. I really want to give that confidence to them because it really makes a difference in your parenting and everything that you do.
But I think, when you're truly connected with something that I want to say passionate about or that you truly love, a lot of that stuff just goes, it's funny. Like, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah. So now you're making me tear up. See, you were right.
Well, let's go back to 2010. What about some of the best advice? You had these groups back then, and you were learning all this at the same time. You were learning how to be a mom, a single married mother. I think what the word you said. So you were going through a big journey, and I assume some of the other mothers in this group, they had multiple kids, possibly.
Sure.
What did you learn from that group and meeting those women?
Well, I think that I learned that we're all in this together and everybody's experiencing pretty much the same thing. And the more you share, the more you're raw and you really get out there, the more you could help people, the more you don't feel alone, and the more judgment just drops off. So if we just mind our mommy matters, worry about ourselves, don't judge other people, you could look down the street and see the mom that's always perfectly done up and her kids look like they just walked out of, I don't know, J. Crew or whatever. And then, but she might have fed her kids chocolate chips and maybe, I don't know, maybe she takes the clothes out of the laundry and irons them every morning because she hasn't done wash in 2 weeks. You just can never judge anybody else. But I learned that we're all in this together and you have to build a village because, I recently had family move here and it's been fantastic, but I didn't really have anybody here to help me. And so I had to create a village. Whether that was friends or, people on sports teams to help me get kids to one place or another, whatever that village is, I wanted to become that village for other people. And I'm growing that village to deliver that. But, the message is still the same. Let's share. What do we care if we do something bad? The good news is tomorrow is another day of parenting.
Right.
If you had a bad day, don't deny it, share it. On Instagram, you'll see me crying with eyeliner about how I'm having the worst day. And you'll see me happy and excited. And it's not about people going, keep your head up, stop, don't be upset. No, it's okay to be upset. It's okay. It's not a solution-based issue.
Right.
It's more of an emotional relationship and understanding what people are going through. Great, you had a bad day. Maybe, why did you have a bad day? Figure it out. Is it maybe you got into an argument with your spouse? Are you trying a new diet and you feel cranky? Do you think maybe you could have handled situations with your kids differently? Is something at work bothering you? Pick yourself up, dust yourself off, and try again tomorrow. Our kids have tantrums and our kids act out and we forgive them all the time. So why aren't we as parents allowed to mess up, And what we are judging ourselves on, sometimes our kids don't even see that. They just want us to be with them. And, maybe you yelled and it didn't do anything. Great. So tomorrow try something new. And it's just that whole idea.
I think it speaks volumes about just, about your character. I mean, the power of vulnerability for yourself is one thing, but everyone around you, your husband, your friends, your family, your children, they see that and they see that you're modeling that behavior for them.
Right.
And, like I said pre-show, I think it was pre-show, I grew up with John Wayne, Texas, men don't talk about that. And the behavior that was modeled for me and a lot of people still to this day is, if you're going to talk like that, go talk to your mom. Or, you don't use those, don't talk about your feelings under my house or whatever.
Right.
So I think it's great. I think it's going to make people so much stronger, in their career and their relationships as they go on. So that all said,
Absolutely.
What makes you a ninja? What do you swear by? Yeah.
I swear by laughter. I swear by putting yourself out there, acting silly, not caring. I swear by being a good person. I try to, a parent without manners is a child without manners. I try to teach my kids, I don't care who you are. I don't care who you love. I don't care what you wear. I want you to be a good person. I want you to help other people, say God bless you if somebody sneezes. Help people that are less fortunate. Let's volunteer as a family. That is so important because these kids grow up, then they're parents to other kids. And I think when kids volunteer and see that not everybody has the life that they have, it creates empathy. So let's say maybe, your child is now, maybe they were going to be a bully and maybe now they're not because they can understand what somebody else is feeling, that there are different people and different is okay. And I think when we teach that at a young age, it's really important. I think also what makes me a ninja is the ability to fail and be okay with it. I'd rather try something and fail than never try anything at all. How can you regret something that you tried? I always tell my kids, if you tried your hardest on that test and you studied and you feel like you did everything you could and you still got a bad grade, I'm okay with that. If you didn't and you could have studied, that's a different story. But, I really try to teach that. It's okay to be a failure. It's not, I think that, starting a business, being a mompreneur or a dadpreneur or a small business is not easy. If it was, this is so cliche that everybody would do it, but
Totally.
It's not easy, and it takes work and it takes rejection and it takes no's, and you got to use those no's to find the yeses. And I also am a firm believer in positivity. So, and believe me, not every day. Some days I'm negative, I'm human, but I believe in putting things out there. My husband always says to me, you told me years ago that you were going to create a CD. You told me you were going to be on television. And all these milestones that you're having are so incredible. And I believe the universe, I really do, it talks back to you. So being positive, teaching your kids positivity. And that can be in any situation. For example, traffic. We have a 20-minute drive from school. So on the way back, we get traffic a lot. And yeah, it's annoying. But what I say instead is, you know what? I think there's an accident. So I hope someone's okay. So yes, we may be late for sports, or yes, it's annoying and we want to get home. And yes, you're starving because I didn't bring the snack bag. But somebody else could be really hurt. So let's think about that. And at least we're together. Let's have a dance party or tell a joke. So kids have choices. It can be, and people, positive, negative, whatever, so.
Yeah. No, it's funny. I think anytime you could do a positive reframe, it's excellent.
Yeah.
Like anytime I get cut off from traffic, which doesn't happen in New Hampshire, but Boston or Dallas.
Yeah.
I've been telling myself this probably for 10 plus years now. When I get cut off, I'm always assuming it's someone trying to take a pregnant woman to the hospital.
I say the same thing. I'm like, maybe it's the dad and the woman's giving birth, and not all the time. I do honk sometimes. I'm the only one that honks here in Tampa.
Well, that's encouraging.
Sorry.
No, that's the New Yorker, and
it is. That's funny you said that.
So you've shared a lot of good tips, but there's one thing I don't think I heard anywhere in there.
Okay.
What about self-care?
Oh, that's huge. Self-care is huge for women.
Good.
Yeah. We always going back to the clients and stuff that I told you I work with plastic surgeons, I work with health companies, and people are like, what does that have to do with parenthood? Well, go get a facial for yourself and see how that helps with your parenting. And people are like, what do you mean? Well, you feel better, you look better. If you feel comfortable and confident in yourself, it's going to show in everything else you do. For me, working out and being healthy, I love working out. If I don't work out, I feel like a crankpot. It's my therapy. I feel strong both in body and mind. With kids, we're just on spring break. I didn't get to work out for almost a week and a half, and I was going insane. But self-care is important. I mean, we always put ourselves last. We're selfless people. Any parents are. We're selfless people, and that's okay. I mean, that's kind of the meaning of parenting. But at some point, you have to find something that makes you feel good. Whether it's reading a book, whether it's getting your nails done, whether it's volunteering, whatever it is that makes you feel sane. Do it.
Awesome.
Find the time. People say, I don't have the time. I can't do this. There's always time. And I always say, if it's a matter of no one's there to watch my kids, do a swap with your best friend. I'll watch your kids for an hour. You watch my kids for an hour. I really believe that corporations, if they understand people as parents, the world will be a better place. Something that we're doing in our business with Biz You Up and Parent You Up is we're always working with corporations. Imagine you're a mom or a dad, and once a month, they say to you, you go get your nails done or something, and it's on us and it's on your lunch hour. Go ahead and do that. And you're like, wow, okay, I feel respected. They get that I'm exhausted. What's going to happen? You're going to get back to work and you're going to be productive because you're respected. And you're going to take that feeling home with you. And it's just that work-life integration. But you got to find something, even if it's escaping in your pantry and screaming really loud into a pillow. Not that I know.
I was about to ask.
Whatever it is, buying a new pair of shoes. I mean, I don't even know what it is. Yeah. I mean, it's that thing. Whatever it is for you, everybody has a different definition of what mastering motherhood is, and everyone has a different definition of what self-care is.
Agreed. All right. I knew you had an answer. I just didn't hear it, and I was like, wait, hold on now.
Because we always put ourselves last. That's why it was the last thing on my list.
So what about, personal habits? What kind of, habits do you have that you feel, contribute to your continual growth, both as, a business, in business, as a mother, as a spouse, as a friend, community, you name it?
Well, I believe in being honest as I possibly can without hurting people's feelings. I believe in trying to stay out of gossip. I believe that we should all be good people. I believe in really giving my all to anything, whether it's parenting, friendships. I try to treat people how I want to be treated. And you can say that to your blue in your face to the kids. And hopefully one day they'll get it. And not everybody treats you that way. So that can be disappointing. And I'm still learning that in my 40s. But just trying to give back and the work ethic that I have. And working from home sometimes you never stop working. So I'm working on that too. But I have a vision, I have a dream, and I want to get there. And I believe that I can, and I want to show my kids that you can do anything. My son wants to be in the NFL. Great. We all joke around how our kids want to be princesses and this and that. Why not?
Right.
Maybe. I mean, it's never like, oh, well, that's fun, but not reality. Why isn't it reality? Maybe he can. He's really great at sports, and why not? And so I really believe in not pushing my kids, but being a role model for them when it comes to having a thought and getting it out there. My son's 11. He already has a t-shirt company that he had.
Nice.
Believe it or not. He loves to design and draw. So I don't think you're ever too young. Again, I wrote poetry when I was in first grade. I think it's important to have a parent that supports you. And sometimes we don't. So I think it's important to find friends. Again, there's that village. But I'm just and I don't drink caffeine, by the way, which is bizarre. But I'm naturally decaffeinated. I'm a night person and a morning person. And honestly, I sometimes feel like I don't have a choice. I have a traveling husband, and if I'm not going to do it, who else is going to do it?
Right.
But at the same time, it works because I enjoy doing it. Like, I enjoy having a neat house sometimes. Let's put it this way. From the time the kids go to school to the time that, we step in, it's neat, and then it's all done. But, those type of things, I like inspiring people. I want people to think of me as somebody that they can look up to.
Yeah.
So all of that, just that work ethic, honesty, and treating people with respect and kindness, hopefully has gotten me to where I am.
Well, it's worked so far, right?
Hopefully. Yeah. I mean, some people may have other things to say about me, but that's okay.
Well, what about
that's okay.
What about on the opposite side of this? And I think you kind of touched on a couple of things, but what about areas that you're trying to get to the next level right now?
I think we all struggle with work-life balance, but I actually hate the word balance.
Yeah.
I say integration because, you're all used to the seesaw, being like this. But the problem is if my child is crying over a bag of Doritos and I have a work deadline, the work deadline's up here. So it shouldn't be even. Doritos is not a crunch, On the other hand, let's say your child is getting ready for college and you need to be there. Yeah, and you have a client that's asking you for something, but it can wait an hour. Then it's your kid up here. So it's finding that integration. It's not really like, I got to balance everything, because as we all know, it's like impossible. And then you get frustrated and you fail at everything and you feel like you're not giving 100%. And I think we all have to remind ourselves of that every day. I think we wake up, it's like Groundhog's Day. You wake up, okay, I gotta, and it's hard. I love what I do so much that, I love like working and all that. Sometimes I have to remind myself to stop, put it away, and be a mom. And I think everybody struggles with that, I'm not really good at doing nothing and relaxing, if you haven't noticed from my energy, but that has allowed me to be who I am,
No, it's focus.
Kind of slow down a little bit in terms of, okay, like read a magazine or, read a book that I've had on my desk for 8 months that I'm constantly going, tonight's the night, I'm going to read the book. But instead, I'm answering client emails and all that, because when you love what you do, you want to do it.
Yeah.
So it's a good thing, but it's that integration, which I know is a typical answer, but it's true.
No. I hear you. It's after 8 o'clock on a Monday night, and you and I are recording this. So
yeah, this is nothing. I have meetings at 10:30 at night, 11 o'clock at night. It's when you're an entrepreneur, you got to do what you got to do, and it works for me, and I love it. So why not?
So what about books? Or podcast, or anything?
Yeah.
You mentioned a book earlier. I've been sitting there for 8 months, and I know what that's like. Has there been anything that's been pretty influential that you recommend often, or anything along those lines?
Well, I've just bought this book. Well, not just, months ago.
Oh, yeah.
I bought this book because somebody said it's Gary Vaynerchuk presents Jab, Jab, Right Hook, How to Tell Your Story in a Noisy Social World. And, I read a lot of fun, romantic books and all that, and they're great. And I actually prefer to read those in summer, but I think that when you're reading and getting knowledge about your business and always trying to get to the next level and learn, because there's always something to learn. So I'm really excited to get going on this, especially the Instagram part, because I'm loving Instagram, and I just started it 8 months ago, and I'm loving it.
Wow.
So, and it's like a full-time job in itself. So this is what I'm hoping to read. Sometimes it doesn't happen because at 11:30 at night, A Little Housewives is really all that I really want to do, which is, as we all know, and don't deny it, you might watch it too, Tom, just saying. But it's like the best escape for me. And sometimes it's just, got to turn it off and watch something so crazy and ridiculous that it just makes you forget about everything in your own life.
No, I think that's good. It's like a reset. It's like, I don't know if you eat sushi or not, but it's...
my email, my non-work email is sushi cool. That's my thing.
So it's like ginger. It's a palate cleanser.
Oh, yeah. That happened one night many, many years ago with my now husband on the subway. We created a wrap, and Sushi Cool stuck, and there it is. It's been there forever. Awesome. That's another story for another time, but yes, I love sushi. It's delicious. Yes.
So it's funny, Gary Vee, one of my friends just won a dinner with him in New York City, and they had dinner, I think it was Friday night, just a couple days ago.
Cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I can't remember if it was Facebook or Instagram, it was some contest, but yeah.
Yeah.
So,
cool.
Yeah.
Very cool.
So, what's one thing that you feel contributes to your success as a person?
Oh, wow. There's a few. Passion and the love for parenting. Listen, our kids drive us nuts for sure, but I have learned to step outside for a second and really look at them in the worst moments and go, I created you. I mean, I truly, ever since I was a little girl, I wanted 3 kids. I've always wanted to be a parent. What do you want to be when you grow up? Well, I want to be a writer and Jane Pauley, and I want to be a parent. I truly, the love I have for my kids has really, they've inspired my whole business, really. That was the missing link. I always knew different things that I liked, but they never sort of made me 100% happy. And then as soon as I had kids, it was like, boom, so the kids are, I think my love for my kids and the love for children in general, I always have like 20 kids over playing in the backyard. I'm at the playground. I'm the one helping I'm the stranger danger, but I'm helping them up on the thing. Like for some reason, I'm just drawn to kids and kids are drawn to me. And I just feel like they're so special and untouched by society. And I just think there's so many great things that you can teach them, and they're so fun. And yeah, I think my love for being a mom is really what does it for me.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So what if there's someone out there listening today and they are in a similar situation that you were in, like in 2010, just moved to a new city, their partner's traveling a ton, they don't know anyone, and now they have this bouncing, bundle of joy that they can't talk to, but they're with all day. What kind of advice would you give that person?
First of all, take a deep breath. Realize that this is such an exciting time for you, even though it feels like you're in a bit of a nightmare right now. Again, those deep breaths can really save you. The other thing I would say is find your village. Whether it's a hired help babysitter, nanny, grandma, friend, 10-year-old mother's helper down the street, find people that can help you and find, people that you can talk to. The other thing is, with Parent You Up, we are a 24/7 support service. So we, talk to parents. We work with parents who have kids in the womb all the way to college and beyond. So we're there to support you at 3:00 in the morning through, virtual support, texting, phone calls. Every family is different. We really look at your family dynamics and try to help bring joy into your life through humor, like I said, and philanthropy, and try to find ways to handle behavior modification with your kids and get them to where you want them to be. The other thing is, remember, there's no such thing as a perfect parent. There's no such thing as a perfect kid. I love using this example. People often say to me, my kid's having a tantrum. What do I do? And, you see it all the time in the supermarket. And personally, I like to see how other parents handle things. I think we all do, because, at some point we're like, what's she going to do next? You're sort of in a spotlight. And so what I tell parents was, you got to use humor. And they go, how is humor being used in a tantrum? So many, many, many years ago, my son, and I got lucky, none of my kids really had tantrums, threw himself on the ground in a parking lot for no reason whatsoever, which, as we know, is what a tantrum is all about. And everybody was watching. And, I'm known as Ellie the Mommy Master. So if somebody knows where I am, it's always like, oh, what's the master going to do about this? So you kind of, do have the double spotlight. And back in the day, I'd be like, oh my God, I feel everyone's looking at me. But I was like, you know what? Let me try to inspire people with my method. So what I did was these people walking to their cars, we're at a sports event. I said to this guy that I didn't know, excuse me, can you control your kid? It's so annoying. Nobody wants to hear it, and we're over it. And everybody who was watching started dying laughing. And I started laughing. My husband started laughing. And while my child was still screaming on the floor, it changed the atmosphere. Everybody wasn't in that judgment mode of like, God, like, what's wrong with you and your kid? It changed my mood. I was able to then, help my child instead of going, stop it, get up now. Because that, and sometimes we don't know what to do. And so we fear, we panic. But instead, I was able to talk him down and then understand why he was having a tantrum. Was he hungry? Was he tired? Is it too much activities that he's doing? But when you put yourself in a certain position, it changes everything. And that's what we try at Parent You Up to teach people. And I would say, go to parentyouup.com and let us help you, because I would like to teach and share what I've learned. There are secrets to mastering motherhood. There are many of them. And when I figured them out, I was like, wow, that's pretty easy. Nobody ever thought about that. So sharing those secrets, all those things. And if you're a mompreneur and, I had a baby and gave birth to my CD at the same time. So I know what it's like. Now I have a puppy, so I know what that's like too. My third puppy. So I would tell women, if you have an idea, don't even wait till tomorrow. Just like, I get mad at my friends. I'm like, do it now, today. Like, write a blog. Like, what's the worst that can happen? Yes, it's important to get support from your family and all that, but, do it. There's never a great time. It's like, when are you going to have kids? Oh, when I'm ready. There's never a time you're ready, You got to get out there. And that's where Biz You Up comes in, with the Mommy Master of the Month, which is what I've been doing for 10 years. I've supported a mompreneur at no charge, because I remember what it's like to start out. You have no money and you have no clue how to get out there and you have no clue what you're doing. And I highlight that. So now, aside from the Mommy Master of the Month, with my partner behind me and everything that we're doing, I can now build your website. I can now help you with your logo. I can do social media marketing and be your guide 24/7. So it's really cool what I can help parents do. And I'm really excited about this next venture because we rebrand and relaunch in a few weeks. So it's all very exciting, and I hope I can inspire everybody and just be the best person you can be today. Don't worry about yesterday. Don't worry about tomorrow. Today. That's
awesome.
Kind of whatever.
No, I love it. I'm in agreement.
So,
well, I know you mentioned this, and I'll put all the links in the show notes. But what's the best way to get in touch with you, or for the people that won't read the show notes? We
can throw a rock through my window. That's a good thing, but that would probably be too messy. Just kidding. So I'm always on social media, on Instagram at the Mommy Master. I answer every single message somebody sends me. I will never have too big of a company to answer people and really get to know women ever, ever, ever. Everybody's important to me. Obviously, Facebook, Mommy Masters on Facebook. We have a Parent You Up page. We're going to have a Biz You Up page. You can go to mommymasters.com. Some of the links might not be up yet because we're rebranding, but you can go to parentyouup.com. Don't forget we have petyouup.com and all that good stuff. You can email me at info@mommymasters.com. If somebody needs some assistance, you can let me know. We could set up something like this. Sign up for Parent You Up because there's so many cool things we can do, and I'm really excited to share my toolbox, which is ever growing. With everybody. So reach out. I am here, and yeah, for sure.
Awesome. Well, is there anything that we didn't cover that you'd be remiss that we didn't review?
There's one thing I would like to say about being a mompreneur.
Yeah.
And some adversities I've faced with it. I've had many people say, oh, you're a mompreneur, you're like a bored housewife. And that drives me absolutely insane.
Yeah.
First of all, being a housewife, which I always find funny because when I was I was never in the house. It's a big job, and everybody knows it. And if you were to offer to trade spaces, they'd say, hell no. But don't discount what someone's doing just because they're working from home or just because they have an idea. Maybe it's just their time at that moment. If you're meeting somebody new, ask them what they do. I hate when someone asks my husband what he does and nobody asks me. That drives me absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
And just be confident in who you are and what you do. And when you love something, turn your hobby into a business. And, when you have somebody like me out there to help guide you, it makes all the difference in the world. And that's it. I hope I've inspired at least one listener.
I'm sure you have.
I hope.
Yeah, no.
I'd like for more than one, but I'll take it. I'll take one.
It's funny. I have the same kind of motto. Like if I can help, one person, or maybe two, that way it replaces. The movement grows by one when I win the lottery.
Yeah, so. It's true though. I've had moms say to me, "Listen, I can't really talk to my parents. I can't talk to my in-laws. My husband and I, we differ on a few things. My friends, I feel like they're the perfect mom. A lot of times, you don't know this, but people just don't have somebody to talk to, even though they're surrounded with people.
Yeah.
And when you have someone that's listening to you, supporting you without judgment, it really is super helpful. And, I am that ear for people that just don't have that. And it's really nice. And I'm excited for what's ahead for Mommy Masters and Parent You Up, and just excited to share my knowledge with the world.
Well, thank you for everything, for coming on, for sharing your message as well as what you're doing in the world. I think it's great. And I definitely believe you're going to be impacting way more than one person. So,
one thing I did forget is my children's CD. It is a Parents' Choice Award winner. You can actually buy a hard copy at mommymasters.com, but it's also available digitally across multiple platforms, as we all know, Spotify, everything. So buy it. It's awesome. There is a different genre for every song: rap, techno. I like music, I like to dance, and I know all parents do, so it's all about having fun and reaching and teaching your child, and that's it.
Awesome. Well, thank you, and I'll make sure I include that in the show notes. So thank you very much.
Very cool. Thank you. Thank you. Right. Sure. Appreciate it.
I just love the energy from that interview, and we covered all kinds of different things, just how she started the support group, and it was almost like a mastermind group, as well as just a support network of other moms, and that had to be challenging, moving to a new area. Her husband was traveling a lot, and she was a new mother, so it's just all this newness, didn't really know anyone, and she even talked about how she just had to bust out of her comfort to go out and build this network and find friends and do all these things that gave her a lot of anxiety. But it was funny, she it was when she had her second boy that she looked up on her bulletin board and saw this Mommy Masters that she had created a few years before, and that was the light bulb. It was like I mentioned this, a vision board, dream board, and boom, all that power of vulnerability that she had, and boom, she saw that, and then she just dove in and created all these different businesses. And she just had a really awesome positiveness about life overall. She said it's all about volunteering, being positive, laughing, and being a good person. And she mentioned Groundhog Day. I thought that was funny. The book she mentioned by Gary V, Jab 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 Hook Right, I believe was the name. But overall, her biggest message, I thought, was just finding your village. Going out and finding those people that are on a similar path as you, or going out and just finding people. Don't just try this all on your own, because people out there struggling with some of the same struggles that you have. So go out there, find your village.
Thanks for listening to the UpRev Ninja podcast with your host, Tom Hudson. Navigate to our website at uprev.ninja today, where you will find additional resources to help you discover the best version of you. While you're there, join our newsletter and join the discussion on your favorite social media platforms. We've got some awesome guests lined up to share with us how they are becoming the best versions of themselves. Again, thank you for listening. Now it's time to go out and uprev your life.
If you haven't, please head on over to iTunes and leave a 5-star review for the show. By doing so, this helps the show get noticed by more listeners and helps spread the word of how to discover the best version of yourself. Also, if you have any feedback about the show or a guest that you would like, please go to my website, https://uprev.ninja, and contact me. This week's review comes from Harold Ree. Inspirational. Tom is fantastic. Great guests from all walks of life who inspire and educate. Excellent way to start the day.